Hey, so today is Sunday, June 2nd. It is about 6:20 in the evening. Um, it's been kind of a long day. Started off, sort of well. I was actually going to go bowling, and I got to the bowling alley, and was going to start bowling, and changed my mind. So on the walk back to the train station, I got a phone call from my nephew, and I was talking to him for a while, and my mom, and my sister, and you know, the result the result of that conversation is that I really miss my nephew, and he really misses me. I didn't think that he missed me that much. I thought he was kind of aloof about me leaving, because he doesn't call me as much as I would like. But after my conversation with my sister today, I know how much he really does miss me, and it put me in a bit of a funk. It's hard for me to. My nephew and I are very close. And it's hard for me to know that he's in that kind of pain because of a decision that I made. And, it was a difficult decision regarding him, leaving him made leaving a lot more difficult than it would have been if he'd been in, Atlanta for the past few years. So, but I'm glad it happened today because it was emotional for me, and I'm glad I got it out of my system. I'm glad I didn't get that phone call tomorrow in a couple of days because, as I said before, last weekend was incredibly emotional for me. So I was supposed to have quit smoking cigarettes a week ago, and that didn't happen. But I guess that's kind of my topic today, is that no effort is going to be perfect. And I think a lot of times when you set a goal or try and break a habit, that you might set these big goals with these huge, huge beliefs, with these, the great intentions. And, you burn out in a few days, and then you give up on it altogether. And I knew that after last weekend I needed, a couple more days to kind of get my routine back. I couldn't put the cigarettes down. But, the cigarettes are going to go. They've gone before, and this time they'll go for good. When they go, I'm going to always pick up a pack of cigarettes before I pick up a drink. I mean, that's the thing, is that, that's what I mean about there's no perfect effort, though. You can't hold yourself to impossible standards and not have any outlets. But I do have better outlets than smoking, and it's just that when I'm not in that particular groove, it's kind of hard to jump into that groove. So by that I mean, tomorrow I'm going to start working out. Once I get, a few days of that under my belt and I start to feel good and my runs start to get a little bit better, then when something stressful comes on, I go to that. But when I'm not in that groove, it's kind of hard to be a smoker and say, okay, I'm going to quit today, and then tomorrow something huge happens and I haven't even gotten a chance to get in the gym once, and that's supposed to be my outlet for the rest of the day, as opposed to, smoking, which is a continuous habit. So, I've given myself a couple more days, and I'm starting tomorrow. And I've noticed that pattern in my life before. When I quit drinking, I came to San Francisco, and it was right before I came. I recognized that I was an alcoholic, even though I should have realized it, many years earlier. I had just realized it and really, really come to terms or accepted it. I was 21 days sober. I came out here, and under a lot of stress, I picked up a drink, and then I picked up a lot more drinks, and I was on an empty stomach, and I acted an ass, and really, 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 really regretted it the next day and for the days to come. And so when I came back, I knew that I had to quit drinking for good. But knowing how I am, because of the damage that I had just done with the drinking that I did, right then and there, I needed to lick my wounds a little bit. So even though I knew I was going to give up the drinking, I did drink for another week before I said, okay, that's enough licking your wounds. It's time to get up and move forward. So I guess that's kind of what I did with the smoking this week. And I guess the point of that is that have some landings. I think I talked about that a little bit in my book. is that, I think one of the reasons I eventually hit some pitfalls is that I was gifted as a child. I was deemed as gifted. I tested gifted. And I had these huge expectations put on me, which is great. You should always, aim big. But it was just kind of like all or nothing. There was no satisfying my dad, and anything but the best wasn't good enough. And I think I kind of patterned my life that way, and I didn't understand moderation. And I think that is one of the biggest and best lessons that I've been learning over the past year or two, is that in relationship with God, it's easy to have moderation. Now, obviously, there's certain things I don't touch. The alcohol, I'm not saying I could ever drink in moderation. That's an illness. But, a lot of other things, the food that I eat, the music that I listen to, the goals that I set, everything in moderation. Nothing's going to be perfect. And when you set these ideals where you have to have a perfect effort, and anything less than, that goal is unacceptable, you're setting yourself for constant frustration and constant failure. So that's the message for today is, give yourself some slack. And, I try and be as open as I can about my life and my feelings, and even when I've been emotional, I'm sure you can see my eyes today. I was very emotional again today, but again, not sad, just, emotional, just feeling, missing my nephew. But it's not a bad thing, because you only miss somebody when you love them, when you care about them. So, it's a good thing to be able to have somebody to miss. So anyway, the smoking, it goes today. Got a few cigarettes left in my pack, and tomorrow morning I'm working out. Tomorrow morning I start writing. I have a few more things that need to come. I've been trying to put these posters up all day. I had to do a couple of other things, but these are my posters from home that are going to go up on the wall either today or tomorrow. I'm tired emotionally. I have a headache, so I don't think I'm putting them up today. But I'm ready to get into that groove, and that's going to help me to quit smoking. So, I talked about failing forward once before. It's the same thing. Like, as long as my intention is to quit smoking, as long as my intention is to do well in school, as long as my intention is to, to grow as a person, even when I fall short of those things, even when I have setbacks in those directions, I'm failing in the direction of progress, and I learn a little bit more, and I grow a little bit more. And ultimately, sooner or later, it happens, Not my time, God's time. Remember that. Take care.